Hello everyone, welcome to episode 25 of this series. In the last episode and off camera I've done a few bits and pieces around the place. For example, I've got us the rest of the crafting stations that we just haven't made yet. I honestly don't remember if I put this up in the last episode or not, but I've moved the map over here and we've extended it so you can actually see the villager area. And I've also finished up the minus like finer details and everything. I've finished up the building, the sort of like main structure, if you will, of the villager trading hall. All I really did... hello, how you doing? Okay. All that I really did off camera was I actually moved that to where it should be, where I now have a wall in between. And I finished putting in some of the glass, put in the gates. I made these cool little support struts that I quite like. Although every now and again I do think they kind of look like, I don't know, moose heads or something. I think they look neat. Yeah, finished putting in the windows, put in the banister rails, put in the archways. And I also figured out what to do with the space up here. I don't want to bring it all the way up to the roof. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put some sort of banister rail around the outside and have this be like storage. Because I really didn't want to bring it up higher so that we lost like the full roof of it all. Also, yeah, like I said, finished putting in the windows. And I think that that's about it since the last episode. I haven't done any detail to the outside windows yet. Mainly because I'm not quite sure where to start with them. Because, like, that one is fairly damn detailed purely because of the little borders around it. I can't really add more to that. Whereas with these ones, I could probably add some stuff. But I've just got to figure out what and where. But first things first, in this episode, what we're going to do is we are going to get a very small villager breeder set up. And we are going to get a total of 24 villagers. That way we have enough for all of the rooms, and we don't have to run back and forth from multiple villages. We just have to go and get two, bring them over here, we're done. Which is a lot easier in my mind. So what I'm going to do, there'll probably be a cut here at some point, and we will appear over at the village. And I will get two villagers. I'll bring them back in boats, because that feels easiest, given that there is a village, like, right over there. And that way I don't have to have a minecart track going all the way across. But once we've got the villager breeding area set up, I'm just going to focus on details, and I'm just going to leave the breeder running in the background until I've got at least 24 villagers. The extra villagers, I don't quite know what I'm going to do with yet. Yeah, it's a good question, actually. We'll figure something out, I'm sure. But yes, I'm gonna then work on detailing, while, all of the villagers start breeding. I've got a few ideas for some of the room interiors, nothing for the big area yet. I will undoubtedly find something, but nothing yet. But for example, I might put, like... I have an idea for using lecterns, and then putting, like, an armor stand holding a die or something, and having it look like it's resting on the lectern, like it's being displayed. Something like that. I don't quite know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so I'm going to go and get the villagers moved over. And I will probably bring you guys back when I'm... Like I said, I'm going to put I'll put a cut in here. I'll bring you guys back when we're over at the village. Okay, so, we're not at the village, but the bamboo farm seems to have done it again. It's done its little magic trick. I honestly don't think that there's any way to fix that. I think that that's just going to happen. No, I don't want these. You can take them. God, that's happened 3 times now. That's well, that's suddenly interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna go find those villagers, and I will bring you guys back once I've done that. Okay, here we go. Villager number... well, we only want one of them, so... Come on. Just want one of you. Just need one of you. Just need one of you over here. Just need one of you. God, fucking dang it. Just need one of you. Yes. Okay. Right. Villager number 1 has been... Why? No. Oh, you're fucking with... Paths are considered lower. Ah, for fuck's sake. Stop fucking crowding me. I'm already regretting my decision. Okay. Villager number 1. Away we go. Okay, villager number 1 nearly there. Oh boy, yeah, no, I'm doing that twice and no more. I'm not, that is not fun. Okay. Right, we're just gonna bring you over here and you can just come and chill, like, right there for the minute. Perfect, okay. Right. Need to go get the other boat, and then it's on to villager number 2. Now we're going to need 24 villagers. So I might need a little bit more farm supplies, like carrots and stuff, but we can get that, no worries. Villager number 2. Okay, villager number 2. Right. There should be, yep, villager number 1. Excellent. Okay. So we've got both our villagers. Should, hopefully, be enough. And I've just got to build the villager breeding thing. Now what I did do is I've already looked ahead at the materials I'll need, and I've already got them spread out in the chest, which we will go to now. And it also contains some of the materials I'll need for the zombie-fying thing. So if we head down here, and then we take a look in this chest, yep, all of that is stuff I'm going to need. That bottom row and the trapdoors I need for the villager breeding thing. This bit is what I sort of assume I'm going to need for the zombifier thing, as well as a few building blocks spare. That's planned for Cactus Farm, which I might make this episode, might make next episode, not sure. In between episodes, I also went and got a fuck ton of deep slate because we're going to be building another bridge, and one of the primary materials for that was deep slate, as was andesite and stone. Where's all of my stone? There we go, and stone. But we probably won't do the bridge in this episode. I think that would be like a episode 26 thing I think I plan on doing it in. So yeah, so I'm going to real quick sort out my inventory, and then we are going to start getting to work on the villager breeding thing. Oh, also, yeah, I got quite a bit of clay and smelted it into bricks, and we still have half a large chest of clay just sitting for if we need it. I got a little bit pissed off with how many times I had to go and get more clay, and I got a little bit carried away. But it's fine, because we've now got plenty. But yeah, so I'm going to sort out my inventory a bit, and then we're going to get on with that. villager breeders. This is actually my first time making one. And I followed a tutorial by one Mr. Zinji, and I will leave a link to that video in the description below, in case you want to check it out for yourself. They're a lot simpler than I expected them to be. But I don't really want to make them, like, ever again. Or more specifically, I don't want to ever have to get the 2 villagers into them ever again. Because with collision on, it's nigh impossible to get them both in that little hole without them going to sleep. And even then, sometimes having them go to sleep doesn't work. So that's fun. Thankfully though, this should be the only time that we need a villager breeder. Since I don't plan on doing anything else with villagers outside of the villager trading hall. So we're all good there. But yeah, so I make a small little sort of depot for the boats and the villagers, lock them in so they can't get out, tidying, and then begins the joy of A, dicking around with hitboxes, B, getting them in the damn minecart. Because they just will not go in the goddamn minecart, because it needs to be powered. Right. And then there was the issue with the flying nearly over the fucking edge. Look at that. Look at that. That's... What? Yeah. Like... I legitimately never... After this project, I never want to deal with villagers again. I know I'm gonna have to deal with them for the fucking iron farm and the raid farm. But I don't want to deal with them for like a while, at least. Because they were just a fucking pain. This, yeah. And then he fell off. Yeah. I think that's about when I started to realize just how fucking painful this entire thing is going to be. It's worthwhile. Getting all the trades in one area. Good access to a bunch of blocks. Still gonna be a pain in the ass though. Is you can't punch them to move them because you need them to be on good terms with you. So you have to fucking like shuffle move them. It's just annoying. Legitimately. That and the fact that they also take a metric fuck ton of like carrots, potatoes and bread to work. Yeah, that's annoying as well. Like I think we went through in total for getting all 39 fucking villagers. I think it was something like... It was upwards of 27 stacks of carrots. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a ridiculous amount. But we got there in the end. Got there in the end. Okay, they're both in. Took a stupid amount of time. I never want to do this again. But it is going to be quicker in the long run than trying to get 24 villagers from various villages. Some of which are on cliffs. Okay, so villager breeder is technically set up. So now what we need to do is we need to go and get some carrots and potatoes, and we then need to give them to the villagers, and they will just start breeding on their own. And we can have that going while we work on the actual villager hall. They're upstairs, aren't they? Well, you know what? Actually, how much bone meal have I got? Right. Gonna use the rest of this bone meal on carrots. Get a lot from carrots. Actually. Actually, I can. Okay, so we have in total quite a few carrots and potatoes. Which is perfect because that's what they need to breed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take these over, dump them in the shulker box, and then... I'm going to need a... Well, we use scaffolding, actually. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Okay. I got it. Yes, I do. There we go. There you go, have some carrots. And have some more carrots. Oh. Oh, you didn't take them. Oh, come on. What? So what happened to the... Why isn't... Why won't you... One second. Ladies and gents, we have figured it out. I think. Yep, we've figured it out. All I needed to do was give them time to pick them up. So if I put them there... Yes. Okay. They weren't having the time needed to actually pick up said supplies. We can also use bread and beetroot, but for now, carrots and potatoes will do fine. So we have more of that. Okay. I'm going to let you guys get on with it for a bit. Okay, so the villager breeder should now be set up. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. And at some point, they should start, yep. And we should get... a tiny little... Come on. Hey! Look at that. Okay. Alright. Villager number 1. Great. Okay. So that's going. So what I need to do is I need to do some more detailing. External details, I'm honestly not quite sure what to do, and I might leave them for a minute. Specifically talking about the windows. Because, like... yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to leave them for the minute. I have no doubt that I'm going to do something with them, but I can't quite think of what yet. But what I do have an idea on what to do is the... Also, I'm leaving hitboxes on for a minute so I can try and keep track of how many villagers are in there. But what I do have a slight idea on is some of the lighting, the storage upstairs, and a few of the rooms. Because I know that, say, for the farmer, I know I want barrels, I know I want a bit of hay. I also know that I want some lecterns in there. Purely to be like, as I mentioned earlier, using lecterns as like boxes and then putting something on an armor stand and then lining it up so it looks like whatever's on the armor stand is resting on it. Also just some general tables. So I'm going to get some signs. I'm going to figure out which villages are going where. We are going to have a few rooms left over because there's only 13 villager professions. But that's fine. We can put something else in there. So yeah, so I'm going to get on with that now. And I will speak to you guys again either once all of the villagers are ready or once I've got all of the details done. whichever happens first. Villager breeder sorted, up and running and in place, I go around laying down the workstations for each of the rooms so that I just have a rough idea of where each village is going to be. Or more specifically, what village is going to be in each room. But I do go in and I start putting down some lights. Double check F3. It is so... I'm sure I've mentioned this before. I have to have mentioned this before. It is so nice that the mob spawn light level is now 0 instead of 7. Like, you could do so much more with lighting now. Which I love, personally. Bushes with some berry bushes, because once they're fully grown, the chain and the berry bush are flush, so it actually looks like they're being held. I go about laying out just a little bit of detail for the sort of upper storage area. Not too much, we don't really need too much, we're not going to be up here like ever, but just a few barrels, few arm stands, a bit of lighting, looks quite nice. And also put a wall of brick and granite around the outside for keep people from falling off. Then put in some more lights with levers, chains, and lanterns. That way it looks like they're actually being hung from further up on the wall. And I quite like the look of them. A little bit tedious to do though, especially when you're doing a lot of them. Then start laying out some scaffolding so that I can build a little support beam going across the middle a hell of a lot easier. I personally love how this sort of, it was originally just a support beam, but then I sort of took another look at it and thought, well, hang on, I can make this look really pretty by adding some leaves to it. This can look even prettier if I add some shroom lights to it. So, I put in a few spots for
Dreamlight to go. And then I covered pretty much the rest in azalea leaves. A good mix of the both flowering and regular leaves. They are by far my favorite leaf. Something to note, actually, in the new update, the mangrove root. It's a very interesting block, actually, because when it overlaps itself, like when you place it in front of itself or on top of itself, it becomes less and less transparent because the roots overlap. So you can use that to create a very, very nice sort of like private hedge thing, I reckon. I haven't tried it, but I reckon it would work well with some leaves as well. So that's definitely going to be something we try rather quickly after we go to 1.19. I like having these bits of color in my build, especially if the primary blocks that we've used are rather muted. Like having the stained glass windows, having that beautiful sort of like green pink and this sort of golden light, sort of like beam that you can see the second you step in because we have that hole in the floor. That looks really cool to me. That looks really cool. And I just really like how that came out. Okay, so I've just finished putting in the lighting, as you've probably seen. We are now completely out of iron. So I do need to go on a mining trip, but I am quite happy with the lighting of this place at the minute. I am very grateful to the fact that you no longer have to light everything up to at least 7, because the middle row here, like, strafes between 7 and, like, 9 at the most, so it is very lucky that we don't have to light it up as much as we used to. Also, I'm glad that I left the gap in the middle, because now you can really see the leaves and everything through it. I really like that. But yes, so I'm obviously not done with this stuff yet. But I am to the point where I'm out of iron. And I would quite like to use iron for a few bits and pieces here and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on a mining trip. I'm going to get some iron. And then once we get back, I'm going to see how far along we are with the... I don't quite know how many are in there. We need 39, actually. I thought it was 24. I realized I only doubled it. I didn't actually times it by... It's 13 times 3. Not 8 times 2. So... Oh, 16 times 2. No, yeah, no. Yeah. How did I even get 24? I don't quite know how I got 24. But we actually need 39. So that's going to take a while. Once I'm back with the iron, I want to get all of the details, not including the rooms, done first. Room detail, I think I will do in one episode. I think getting every other bit of detail done first. So I want to get I want to have, like, figure out something for this, figure out something for that, figure out something down the middle here. Maybe what I might just do is I might just border up the rooms that we aren't using if I can't think of something to put in them, because that way it still looks somewhat nice, but I've not had to do 50 million things for a room we're not using. These areas I want to be either like a chill seating, maybe a bar, some sort of cafe area. Don't quite know yet, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, so I think what we're gonna focus on for the rest of the episode is actually getting all of the details that aren't in the rooms done. Then next episode, I think I'm probably gonna push the cactus farm back, possibly also push that and the bridge back to episode 27 and use episode 26 to completely get this finished off. So yeah, so I'm going to get on with mining now. And I'll bring you guys back once I've got a level of iron which I deem sufficient. Okay, so just got back from the mining trip, which is pretty evident by the night vision still being there. We got a fair bit of iron. We did get a few diamonds as well, which is quite nice because I've been using them a fair bit to repair my tools. But we got a fair bit of iron, a little bit of gold, a little bit more redstone, and we practically doubled in diamonds, which is good. I have just I have just done a little bit of terraforming around the back of the sort of trade hall, mainly because I felt that it was needed. Because if we come around the back here, yeah, this looks a hell of a. It used to just be a flat box. Granted, it doesn't look as good as it probably could be, but it looks a hell of a lot better. Still want to do a little bit more around the front, but I will probably do that off camera at some point. Haven't checked the villagers yet. Should probably do that. I should really probably do that. Hang on. Just give them a little bit of space to fan out. Ooh, actually probably shouldn't put that there. So I don't think... Oh, we don't have... a little bit of space to fan out. And... Silk touch. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. However many are in there. You're gonna make me do the same over on this side, aren't you? Okay. Now the shock box is over here, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so out of the 39 that we need, we have 8. Yeah, that's gonna be something that I just let finish off camera. So we'll be moving them in and doing the zombification next episode. Which will probably be, yeah, it's gonna be episode 26. So, right, given that that's taking quite a while, in that case then, what I'm going to do with the rest of this episode is I'm going to, like I mentioned, try and get every single bit that isn't like an inner room done and built up. I do like the idea of boarding up the rooms that we're not using for now, just so that since we're not using them, there's no point having them open, yada yada yada. That might change in the future when I think of something. We might, who knows, I might have... Might it be an idea to get multiple multiple rooms of librarians and farmers, maybe? Who knows? But again, that's something that I can figure out later. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put fences and I'm going to put signs over the fences. I think it's going to be what we're going to do. And I'll just use oak wood for that. So yeah, so I'm going to get to work on finishing up the details. I have decided that one of the big open areas is going to be a little sort of seating area, and on the other side will be a very small sort of cafe-esque food cart type sort of thing. Because I think that would look quite nice. In terms of like other decorations around the place, I'm honestly not too set on anything yet. More plants is almost guaranteed, I'd say. I'm actually going to turn that bit of quartz into blocks, because I do want to use them eventually. Not necessarily for the trading hall, but eventually. I have made up the one netherite ingot that we can make. Still haven't quite decided what it's going on yet, but it won't be going on anything until we get mending. Because if you weren't aware, when you try to enchant a netherite tool on an anvil, compared to a diamond tool, the experience cost is stupidly high. It will be something like 10 levels on a diamond tool, and it's going to be like 34 on a fucking netherite tool. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get mending on something, either the pickaxe, sword, whatever, and then we're going to, what do you call it? Upgrade it. There we go. That's the word we're looking for. Although boots and helmet wouldn't be a bad idea, but we're definitely getting mending on everything, though. So yeah, so I'm going to get to work on all of that, and I will speak to you again once... I'll speak to you again once I've got all of that done. So yeah. We'll get on with that. Okay, so I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. I think it was one of the 24s. But yes, so I'm using oak fences and oak signs to essentially board up the rooms that we're not using, so that we don't just have an empty room, but it's not like walled off in a way that like heavily detracts from the look of everything. I also set up a small little counter where we are going to be putting, I still need to do this, I keep forgetting to do this, I need to put just some food on that counter. And I also lay out some seats. A couple of nice tables. Nice little sort of like coffee cafe area, which I thought was quite nice, because we don't really have anything else to do in that room. Now, most of the time when you're doing chairs out of wood, you usually use the same wood type for the sign as you do for the stairs. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to create a bit of a contrast. I like how it turned out, actually, and I think I might be doing it a lot more. But I also put in a few spots for a couple of newspaper stands. We have 2 in total, 1 on each end. And I also quite like how these came out. Small little details, but they look quite nice, especially when looking at the whole thing in like one big picture. Also add some benches because that little area by the stairs was feeling a little bit empty. So a couple of benches really helped. Just add a little bit more to that space. Okie dokie. So, I've got all of the block details in. I am going to be adding some general armor stand and item frame details. However, I'm going to do them next episode. When I do the rooms, because then I'm going to get the rooms all done, except for the item frames and armor stands, and then I'm going to do all of the item frame and armor stand stuff at the exact same time. It will just save me a lot of time. So for example, there's going to be a little bit more here. You know what, actually? I'm going to make a few smokers, and just tuck them in the behind there. I don't have cobblestone. Fuck. Okay, well, I'll do that at some point then. I don't think the villagers have changed anymore since we last checked. I think it's still chilling at 8. We need 39 total, so I'm going to have to let this run for a while. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to let this run for a while. So I think this is gonna be the end of the episode for today. We got a lot of we got a lot of work done. We got all of the like big block built kind of stuff details done. All that's left is the rooms, actually getting the villagers moved in, and the more finer details. For example, as I probably mentioned, but those little parts, they're going to be newspaper stands. But if I'm going to put paper on there, I need to use an armor stand or an item frame. Hence, you know, finer details and such. So, yes, so in episode 26, we are going to get this finished. And we are going to get all the villagers moved in. And then episode 27 will be a very quick bridge and cactus farm. And episode 28 will be exploring the new stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.